I thought my husband was cheating, my family attacked him, and now I do not know how to fix what I helped destroy. Hello everyone. I am a 30-year-old woman and my husband is 35. We were married for 8 years. Right now, we have been separated for 14 months. We do not speak directly anymore. Everything goes through lawyers. We only communicate through legal arrangements about the children. But I have one chance coming soon. Over Christmas, my husband will fly in from Sydney to spend time with the kids. That means we will be in the same place. We will have a moment where we can talk face to face. I want to use that moment to clear the air, explain what really happened, and try to rebuild what we lost. I know I cannot force anything. I know he may already be done with me, but I still love him. I believe we loved each other deeply before this happened. And the truth is, what happened did not just hurt our marriage. It hurt our mental health, our finances, and most of all, our 3 children. I feel like one terrible misunderstanding turned our entire life upside down. This is what happened. In September last year, I received a message on Facebook from a woman I did not know. She told me my husband was on Tinder. She said he was talking to other women. She said he was exchanging naked photos with them. She claimed she had proof. At first, I did not want to believe it. When someone tells you something like that, your brain tries to protect you. You tell yourself it must be a lie or a mistake. But then the woman sent me a screenshot. The screenshot showed messages between her and a profile using my husband's name and photos. It also showed the profile itself. My stomach dropped. I called my husband immediately. We argued on the phone. He told me it was not him. He sounded shocked and confused. But I was already panicking. In my mind, I had proof. I had a screenshot. I had his face. I had his name. And the woman was confident, like she had done this before. I felt embarrassed and humiliated, like everyone was laughing at me and I did not even know. I asked the woman for more proof, but she said the screenshot was all she had. She said she was warning me because she would want someone to do the same for her. That made it feel even more real. Why would she lie? Why would she reach out to me if it was not true? Then I did something that pushed me fully into believing it. I downloaded Tinder myself. I created an account. I searched. And I found a profile using my husband's photos. It was active. And the location showed less than 1 kilometer away. That detail destroyed me. It did not feel like a random scam anymore. It felt close. It felt real. It felt like he was doing it nearby, like he did not even care enough to hide it. I felt rage and heartbreak at the same time. I was convinced, completely convinced, that my husband was cheating. That night, we had the worst fight of our entire marriage. I confronted him. He denied it. I did not believe him. The argument escalated fast because I was emotional and he was defensive. I was crying and shouting. He was angry and confused. He kept insisting he had no idea what I was talking about. But, in my mind, the evidence was right there on my phone. I made a decision that I now regret with my whole soul. I involved my family. I called them because I felt like I was drowning. I did not feel safe emotionally. I wanted support. I thought they would come, calm us down, and help us talk like adults. I thought they would protect me and keep the situation under control. They came over, but instead of calming anything down, everything got worse. My parents and my brother arrived. They could hear the tension. They could see me upset. They believed the story I was telling them because I had proof. They looked at my husband like he was a criminal. My brother became aggressive. My husband tried to speak, but nobody listened properly. It was like the room decided he was guilty and that was the end. Then the violence happened. My brother punched my husband. He also grabbed him. It turned into a scuffle right outside. It was loud. It was chaotic. Neighbors saw it. Someone called the police. I still remember how powerless I felt in that moment. I did not want it to go that far. But it was already happening. I was shocked. And at the same time, my brain was telling me, this is what cheaters deserve. That is how angry and confused I was. The police arrived. They did not want to deal with a full family war in the street. They told my husband to pack a few things and leave for a while. Not because he was charged, but because they wanted to calm the situation down. It was basically remove the person the family is attacking so nobody gets hurt again. So my husband left. That was the moment our marriage truly broke. It was not just the cheating accusation. It was not just the fight. It was the fact that my husband was assaulted, humiliated, and forced out of his home by police because of something he did not do. And I was the person he expected to stand by him. Shortly after that night, we separated. He moved to Sydney to be closer to his father, who was very sick. He also wanted space. He needed to get away from the place where his neighbors saw him being attacked, where people whispered, where he felt unsafe. And honestly, he probably needed to get away from me too. Since then, he has been seeing our kids 2 weekends a month. He flies in or arranges visits depending on schedules. He is present, but in a limited way, because we live apart now. Our kids have had to adjust to a life none of us planned. 2 homes. 2 schedules. 2 different versions of the truth. For 14 months, the situation stayed the same. We lived in this cold, legal, distant way. I was still hurt and angry. He was still distant and closed off. And even though I sometimes doubted the Tinder evidence, I could not fully let it go. The image of that profile kept haunting me. Then, at the beginning of November this year, everything changed. My neighbor's wife came to my door. She looked nervous. She looked ashamed. She told me she needed to speak to me urgently. She said she had discovered something horrible about her husband. Then she said the words that made my heart stop. Her husband had been using my husband's photos on dating apps. He had been catfishing women on Tinder and other apps. He had been pretending to be my husband. He had been flirting and exchanging messages and trying to get naked photos from women. He had used those photos to get attention and manipulate people. At first, I could not process it. I kept thinking, why would someone do this? Why would someone use another man's face to destroy a marriage? Then she explained how he got the photos. During the pandemic period, we lent their household a MacBook. He needed it for something, and we trusted them. She said he downloaded photos from that MacBook. That included photos of my husband, and also some private photos. Some of the photos were intimate pictures, including pictures of me that were never meant for anyone else's eyes. When she said that, I felt sick. It was not just betrayal. It was violation. Someone had stolen pieces of our private life and used them like tools. And while I was attacking my husband for cheating, the real monster was living right next door. The police are involved now. The neighbor is being investigated. My neighbor's wife gave statements. There is evidence on devices. It is an official case. All of this information was relayed to my husband through his lawyer. I was desperate for him to hear it. I wanted him to finally understand that I knew the truth now. That I believed him now. That he was innocent. But his response was cold. Not cruel, just cold. His lawyer told mine that his reaction was lukewarm. He said we could talk about it over Christmas. And now I am scared. I am scared that the damage is too deep. I am scared he has already processed the loss and moved on emotionally. I am scared he will come for the kids, do his visit, and then push for divorce. And the hard part is, I cannot even blame him. Because when I look at what he went through, it is something I will never fully understand. He was falsely accused. That is traumatic on its own. But then he was physically attacked by my brother. Then the police came. Then he had to leave his home. Then his in-laws treated him like a villain. Friends may have judged him. Neighbors may have whispered. His reputation was damaged. His family life fell apart. He had to live away from his children and see them on a schedule instead of waking up to them every day. And he had no real way to prove his innocence at the time. He could not magically show me the truth. He could only say, it is not me. And I did not listen. Now that the truth is out, I want reconciliation. But I know apologies do not erase trauma. Love does not instantly rebuild trust. Saying I am sorry does not remove the memory of being punched and removed from your home by police. I also know that I played a role in the damage, even if I was also tricked. Many people online told me the same harsh truth. They said yes, I had reasons to believe the evidence. But the way it happened, the violence, the involvement of my family, and the lack of loyalty to my husband in the moment may have killed the marriage beyond repair. They said he likely already grieved the relationship. That he already accepted the loss. That is why his response is so calm now. They said I should not focus on getting him back. Instead, I should focus on making him whole again. Clearing his name. Fixing his reputation. Owning what I did wrong and correcting the damage as much as possible. They told me I need to tell everyone the truth. Every friend. Every family member. Every person who heard that he cheated. Every person who saw the police. Every person who looked at him differently after that night. They said I should publicly take responsibility, say I was wrong, and say he was faithful, and say my neighbor used his identity. And they also said my family must apologize, especially my brother. Not a casual sorry. A real apology. The kind where he admits what he did was violent and unacceptable. Even if my husband had actually cheated, assault is never okay. But since he was innocent, the assault becomes even worse. Some people asked a hard question. Did I feel regret or remorse? Regret is feeling bad that this happened. Remorse is feeling deep pain for what you caused someone else. And they said they did not see enough remorse in my words. That hurt, because I do feel it. I just do not know how to prove it in a way that matters. So now I am asking the same question I asked before, but with more honesty. What is the best way to approach my husband in December? I want to talk without blaming him. I want to explain that I now know he was innocent. I want to apologize. I want to tell him I am willing to do whatever it takes. Therapy. Boundaries with my family. Public truth. Anything. But I also know I cannot make him forgive me. And I do not want to manipulate him. I want to do the right thing, even if it does not bring him back. Because at the end of the day, the father of my children deserves to have his name cleared. He deserves to have his dignity back. That is where I was before the final update. Now I will explain what happened after we finally talked. After everything came out, we sat down and had a serious conversation. Unfortunately, we decided our marriage could not be repaired. He told me he was too damaged by what happened. He said he needed therapy. He said he wanted a clean break. He requested no further personal contact in the future. It crushed me, but I accepted it. I told him I would respect his wishes. From now on, I will communicate through his lawyer when it involves the children. I will not try to pull him back into conversations he does not want. I will not guilt him or pressure him. If I truly respect him, I have to respect his boundaries now. I also started working on clearing the air with everyone. I told family and friends the truth. I told them he was falsely accused. I told them our neighbor used his photos to catfish women. I told them the police are investigating. I am still actively working to repair his reputation because I know once people believe a cheating story, it spreads fast. It is not enough to tell one person. You have to correct every place the lie touched. I also want to clarify the assault because I know people see it as me sending my family to attack him. That is not what I intended. That night, during the fight, I called my mother to ask if my parents could take the kids for the night. I was emotional, and I did not want the kids around the argument. My mother was worried about me and told me to stay put. She said they would come to pick up the kids themselves. They arrived. My parents came inside to collect the kids and their bags. My brother stayed outside at first. My father tried to calm the situation and asked me to talk to my husband and bring things down. My mother pulled me away to focus on packing the kids' things. When we came outside, my brother was confused. He had heard my mother say that my husband might have cheated. That triggered him. Then my husband walked outside and grabbed my arm in a non-violent way, likely trying to speak to me or stop me from walking away. My brother reacted instantly. He punched him. Then there was a struggle on the front lawn. My brother apologized later. He was remorseful, even before we learned the truth. But I understand now that apology does not erase what he did. This whole situation is a series of awful events. It changed many lives. It destroyed our marriage. It robbed our family of what we had. Now I have to focus on my children, my depression, and accepting the divorce. I will never forget what happened. I can only hope the pain becomes easier to carry. A 15-year-old is pregnant, and the parents do not know how to reveal she was adopted by her grandparents. Now the second story. A man, 53, and his wife, also 53, are dealing with a family secret that has been hidden for years. They had their first daughter, Sarah, when they were 22. They were young and broke, but they worked hard and raised her the best they could. When Sarah was 15, she became pregnant. It was a very dark time. She needed therapy. She never told them who the father was. They suspected something terrible might have happened, but they did not push her. She wanted to end the pregnancy at first, but she kept canceling appointments. Later she said she wanted to place the baby for adoption. 5 months into the pregnancy, she was talking to a social worker about adoption. A couple was ready to adopt, but that couple dropped out. After more searching, Sarah asked her parents if they wanted to adopt the baby. At that time, Sarah's parents were 38. They had already been discussing having another child. So they agreed. When Sarah gave birth at 16, they adopted the baby girl, Ellie, and raised her as their own child. 2 years later, the parents had a son, Logan, biologically. He is now 13. The parents always planned to tell Ellie she was adopted, but there was a big complication. To tell Ellie she was adopted, they would also have to reveal that Sarah, the older sister, was actually Ellie's biological mother. Sarah never wanted that truth revealed. She was not ready. Sarah also never became close to Ellie. She moved out after giving birth and lived with her aunt. She showed normal sisterly love to Logan, but she kept distance from Ellie. Sometimes she even posted family pictures online where Ellie was cropped out. When confronted, Sarah said it was too painful. A couple of years ago, Sarah came to their house drunk, begging to see her daughter. They calmed her down but did not let her near Ellie because she was intoxicated. Later, they learned Sarah had suffered miscarriages and was told to consider surrogacy. 4 years ago, she used a surrogate and had twins, Jack and Jill, who are biologically hers. Ellie loves being an aunt to the twins. Sarah encourages Ellie to spend time with them. Ellie and Logan often visit Sarah's house for family time. Now the main issue happens. Ellie, who is 15, tells her parents she is pregnant. This time, it is very different from Sarah's situation. They know the father. He is a childhood friend. Ellie says they chose to sleep together for the first time and did not use protection because they thought being careful would be enough. Ellie is 3 months pregnant and insists she wants to keep the baby. The parents have not told Sarah yet. They do not know how Sarah will react, especially since Sarah is Ellie's biological mother. They are also considering finally telling Ellie the truth about the adoption, but they believe Sarah needs to be there for that conversation. In the update, the parents decide to focus on Ellie's pregnancy first. They do not want to stress her out by revealing the adoption right away, even though they admit they should have told her long ago. Then Ellie tells the family about the pregnancy, including Sarah. Sarah reacts poorly at first but says she will support Ellie. Sarah then tells the parents she is ready to talk to Ellie about the adoption and she wants to tell Ellie about the father privately. They sit down together and tell Ellie the truth about being adopted. Ellie is upset but calms down and asks questions. Sarah has the father conversation privately. Ellie later tells her parents she knows who he is and she does not want contact. Then a shocking twist happens. The father receives a call from his sister-in-law, Renee, who is angry. Renee says Ellie reached out to the father's brother, Ethan, and told him she was adopted. Ellie also told Ethan that he is her biological father and that he is going to be a grandfather. The father is stunned. Ellie barely sees Ethan and is not close with him, so this makes no sense. The father calls Sarah, and Sarah admits the truth. Ethan is Ellie's biological father. Sarah and Ethan were close when they were young. They were only 8 months apart in age, because Ethan was much younger than the father due to a second marriage in the family. Sarah says that as they grew older, their relationship turned into something romantic and sexual. She insists it was consensual and that Ethan did not assault her. She says she never told anyone because she was ashamed that the father of her baby was her uncle. The father speaks to Ethan, who admits it privately even though he denied it to Ellie over text. The father is disgusted and furious. He cannot understand how Ethan could have done that to his niece. He also cannot understand how Ethan knew he had a child and stayed silent for 15 years. Now the family is breaking apart. The father's mother and stepfather find out. Ethan tells Renee the truth. Renee leaves with her kids. Ethan tries to reach out to Ellie, but the father does not want Ellie in contact with him. Ellie does not want to speak to Ethan anyway. She feels betrayed by being lied to. Now the parents are trying to support Ellie through her pregnancy while also dealing with this family disaster, broken trust, and boundaries about safety. A man tried to prove a point about safety, ended up assaulting his girlfriend, and lost her. The third story is about a man who made a serious mistake and is trying to understand the damage he caused. He is 26 and his girlfriend is 25. They moved in together last year. Their neighborhood is mostly safe, but at night there are drunk men in sketchy situations that make him nervous. He admits that even he feels scared sometimes. His girlfriend, however, was confident. She said she was not scared to walk alone at night. She said she was strong and could handle herself. She is 5'10" and works out twice a week. She is stronger than many women, and he respected that. But he believed she was being unrealistic when she compared her strength to a typical man. She even joked that he should be the one worried because he is a skinny 5'9" man. He often chose to stay quiet, because he thought arguing would not help. He did not want to crush her confidence. He just worried in silence. One night, she went out with friends. At 1 a.m., she texted him saying she would come home alone using public transport. She does not have a driver's license. He told her it was dangerous and offered to pick her up. She refused and insisted she could handle it. He stayed awake the whole time anxious, until she came home about an hour later. When she arrived, she was angry at him. She said he did not trust her. She said he acted like she was helpless. She was offended. And then he made a choice that ruined everything. He decided to prove to her how big the strength gap can be between men and women. He thought he was teaching a lesson about safety. He believed that if she understood the difference, she would take nighttime danger more seriously. He told her to try to take him down as hard as she could. She thought he was joking, but once she realized he was serious, she happily agreed because she wanted to prove him wrong. She grabbed him and tried to overpower him. He quickly broke out of her grip. Then he pinned her down on the ground for several minutes until she surrendered. She cried. She looked scared. Even though she knew he would not seriously hurt her, she felt the fear in her body. She felt powerless. She felt humiliated. The moment he saw her crying, he realized what he had done. He did not just prove a point. He terrified her. He turned himself into the exact thing he claimed he wanted to protect her from. He slept on the couch. The next morning, she refused to talk about it and said she was fine, but he could tell she was not. He felt disgusting. He felt like he had shattered her confidence. He feared the relationship was over. In the edit, he admits something important. He admits what he did was assault. He says he is deeply sorry. He says he thought he was doing the right thing but ended up becoming violent. People online tore into him. They said he committed domestic violence. They said his lesson was not a lesson, it was harm. Some said he only needed to show he could slip out of her grip, but pinning her down until she cried was cruel. Many told him he needed therapy. Then, in the update 2.5 months later, he shares what happened. She broke up with him the next day over the phone. She asked him to admit that he enjoyed seeing her cry. At first, he defended himself. He argued. But deep down, he knew she was right. He admits something disturbing. He admits he was slightly aroused by overpowering her so easily and seeing her cry. He says he is ashamed of it, but he wants to be honest because honesty is the first step to changing. After the breakup, he fell apart. He says it was some of the worst days of his life. He felt like he lost everything, including his self-respect. He decided to start therapy and take a break from dating for at least a year. His family and close friends supported him, even if they did not fully agree with his actions. He also reflects on the situation more maturely. He says his girlfriend probably was not stupid enough to fight a stranger, even if she was confident. He says being cautious is not about strength. He says he now understands she had a right to be upset that he had so little faith in her. He admits the way he tried to show the strength difference at 2 a.m. was completely stupid. He did not hear from her for a long time. Then she called him 2 days ago. They did not talk much about the incident. They mostly caught up and made peace. He says she is doing well. She is about to finish her master's degree and already has a job lined up. She started dating a new guy last month and sounds very happy. She also joined a swing dance class, something she wanted to do for a long time but did not do because of him. That is where she met the new boyfriend. He expected she might join self-defense classes, but she did not. Still, she is moving forward with her life. He says he is doing better too, but he still misses her sometimes. Hearing her voice made him miss her even more. But he believes it is best for them to stay separate. He also shares an experience that helped him understand her perspective. He went on a trip to Naples with family. Their apartment was near some sketchy alleys. One night he wanted pizza late, but his mother insisted he should not go because it felt dangerous. He tried to argue he was fine, but then he realized this is exactly how his girlfriend felt when he worried about her safety. So he decided to go during the daytime instead. He says he will continue therapy, even if he feels fine, because he wants a place to talk without being judged. If you want stories that hit hard, these 3 all show different kinds of damage. The first story shows how one false accusation and one violent moment can destroy a marriage, even when the truth comes out later. The second story shows how secrets in families do not stay buried forever, and how the truth can explode in ways nobody expects. The third story shows how trying to control someone for their own good can turn into abuse, and how one terrible choice can cost you the person you love. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy these kinds of stories, subscribe to the channel, hit like, and share with your friends.